Based on some comments in last week's vlog asking about Z200 versus the new Z300, which is a half-inch 3-chip camera, f1.9 all the way through, versus the Z200 1-inch sensor, single sensor, variable aperture lens to get 20x. The lens gets darker as you zoom in, so I think you can get a 3.2 on the wide side, and it stops down darker or slower aperture as you zoom in. So we've zoomed in 3/4 of the way on both cameras. I'm just looking in OBS. I've got a f22x. It's at 1% right now, and I had to scoot back a bit. So one of these cameras is EX3 set to 0 dB at f1.9. It's wide open. And then we zoomed in the Z200 to the darker side of the lens and then gained it up. So to get about the same exposure, just evaluating here off my MacBook screen, they're pretty close, but 0 dB f1.9 on the EX3 versus f4.4, and it's 22 dB on the gain. So I know like the choosing whatever 0 dB is on a particular sensor is just an engineering choice. It's all relative, but that's what I guess the engineers at Sony decided was the best balance of noise to picture and dynamic range, color fidelity, what all the pieces are into engineering a clean picture out of a camera. So this tracks with our experience last week on that live stream where I noticed I had to gain up the new camera, the Z22, quite a bit in that octagon versus the EX3 was good at, I think we ran it at 6 dB so we could stop it down a little bit, but quite a noticeable difference. What is that? That's 2.5 stops difference in aperture, 1.9 versus 4.4. Okay, next, let's just see what native 0 dB looks like on the Z200. Okay, there's no ND applied. We're at 1/60th of a shutter on both cameras. And there you go. That's 0 dB on the EX3. 1.9 aperture, wide open, best case scenario at 0 dB. And yeah, Z200 0 dB at the maximum aperture at the zoom position, which is 4.4. Okay, Z200 wider. This is plus 22 dB. And again, the EX3 is at 0 dB. And for a multicam shoot, they're pretty close. One of them's a little greener than the other, but that can be tuned. I will auto white balance both of these off of a white card just here at the table off my 5600 key light. And yeah, pretty good. I mean, 17-year age difference. I know I keep repeating myself, but super impressed with what I'm getting away with here. I think the dynamic range is similar too. Certainly, I would assume the Z200's got more dynamic range than the EX3. Also, I'm only looking at a half-size image on my MacBook, but the EX3 looks like a sharper picture, more detail, more sharpening, and the Z200 looks a little on the soft side for me. I have not gone into those menus and tuned detail at all, but that was my impression looking at the footage from my first client shoot with it. Everything just looked a little unsharpened on screen, so I want to play with the detail there, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully this is helpful, constructive info for some of you. I'm going to be shooting on the Z200 the next couple of days, in addition to some of my other cameras, and I'll report back on what I learned. Our third day. We got here early. Beck's setting up a time lapse. We've been running multiple GoPro time lapse, and we're also mounting video GoPros. I guess they're both video. They're in time lapse mode, shooting video clips, time compressed, and then we're also doing real time GoPro shots positioned on equipment and different materials as they get put in place. And then I've been shooting, jumping between the drone and the Z200. And then Rich is here on an FX9 getting FX9 type of content. We're going to do some interviews today. Rich will break away and do that while I continue to drone and B-roll Z200. But it's been a good tag team, jump FX9 and Z200 shooting the same sequence at the same time. I can quickly snap in and get all the tight coverage, telephoto lens,
well. Rich is obviously on the wider side of the same action. He's shooting a 24 to 105. What else? Oh, the drone. It's been interesting. Like, I'll get the drone up in position, and quite often it just hovers overhead for 30, 40 minutes at a time with multiple battery changes to show incremental progress. And then I can just set the radio down and ground shoot.
We changed hotels because I've worked in Galveston County a few times. I have never been on the island. Doesn't look brown today. It is stormy, miserable. It's going to rain all day tomorrow. And we're going to work outside anyway. I got the heat blasting onto the lens because I've got internal condensation. Because it's been raining for over 24 hours out here working in the miserable. I left the camera in the truck last night, so it was acclimated, but I think once the camera warmed up shooting, that's what caused the internal condensation.